Imagine opening your email tomorrow morning and seeing this. Congratulations, we want you to move to our country, and we're willing to help pay for it. Sounds like one of those internet scams, doesn't it? The kind of message you delete immediately. But here's the crazy part. For some people, it's actually real. Around the world, governments are spending millions trying to attract new residents. Not because they're being generous, not because they're giving away free money, but because they're running out of something even more valuable: people. Entire villages are disappearing. Schools are closing because there aren't enough children. Businesses can't find workers. Thousands of homes sit empty year after year. And instead of watching these communities slowly die, some governments have decided to do something extraordinary. They're paying people to move there. Now, before you quit your job and start packing your suitcase, there's one thing almost every viral TikTok and YouTube video gets completely wrong. These aren't free money programs. Every single one comes with conditions. Some want teachers, some want entrepreneurs, some want remote workers. Others simply want someone willing to breathe life back into an abandoned town. So today, we're traveling across the world to discover 10 places that could actually help pay for your move, and the fascinating reasons why they're doing it. Let's begin in one of Europe's most beautiful countries, Ireland. Picture yourself driving through the Irish countryside, rolling green hills, stone cottages, tiny villages that look like they're frozen in time. It's beautiful, almost too beautiful. Then you notice something strange. House after house, completely empty, windows boarded up, gardens overgrown, doors that haven't been opened in years. It's a problem that's become surprisingly common across parts of Ireland. Thousands of homes are sitting vacant while housing demand continues to grow, so the Irish government came up with an idea. What if we helped people bring these homes back to life? That's where the Vacant Property Refurbishment Grant comes in. If you buy an eligible vacant property and renovate it to live in, you could receive up to €50,000. If it's officially classified as derelict, that support can rise to €70,000. Sounds incredible. But here's what social media often leaves out. The government isn't paying you just to move to Ireland. They're helping you restore a home that would otherwise continue to decay. In other words, they're investing in communities, not handing out free cash. And honestly, when you look at the villages they're trying to save, it starts to make perfect sense. But Ireland isn't the only country facing this problem. A few thousand kilometers away, Portugal is fighting a very different battle. Everyone knows Lisbon. Everyone knows Porto. The beaches, the cafes, the stunning coastline. But travel just a little farther inland, and you'll discover another Portugal. Quiet towns, beautiful landscapes, friendly communities, places with enormous potential, but not enough people. For years, young workers have been leaving these regions in search of bigger opportunities, so Portugal decided to change the equation. Through its Emprego Interior MAS program, eligible workers, entrepreneurs, remote professionals, and self-employed people who relocate to designated inland areas can receive financial support to help with the move. Think about that for a second. They're not paying you because they need tourists. They're encouraging people who can actually contribute to local communities, because every new resident means another customer for local shops, another family for local schools, another reason for a small town to keep growing instead of shrinking. It's a clever investment, and once you understand the reason behind it, you realize this story isn't really about free money. It's about countries fighting for their future. From Portugal, our journey takes us much farther east, to a country where the capital city feels like the future. Japan. Tokyo is one of the most exciting cities on Earth. Neon lights, bullet trains, tiny ramen shops hidden under railway stations, crowded crossings where thousands of people move like waves. For many people, Japan is the dream. But here is the strange part. While millions of people dream of moving into Tokyo, the Japanese government has been trying to convince some people to leave it, because beyond the bright lights of Tokyo, there is another Japan, a quieter Japan, a Japan of empty houses, aging villages, closed schools, and train stations where almost nobody gets off anymore. In some rural communities, young people leave for the cities and never come back. The old remain, the houses stay empty, and little by little, entire towns begin to disappear. That is why Japan created relocation support for people willing to move from the Tokyo area into selected regional communities. In some cases, qualifying households may receive financial support worth several million yen, especially families moving with children. But this is where most viral videos get it wrong. Japan is not paying random tourists from around the world to just show up and collect money. This is targeted relocation support for people who meet very specific conditions. The goal is not tourism. The goal is survival. Japan is trying to bring people, families, workers, and life back into communities that are slowly fading away. And once you understand that, the whole story changes. Because this is not about free money. It is about a country fighting to keep its small towns alive. And that same story is happening thousands of kilometers away, but in a place that looks completely different. From the quiet villages of Japan, we travel west, across Asia, across Europe, until we arrive in Greece. When most people think of Greece, they picture paradise, white houses on cliffs, blue domes, crystal clear water, sunsets over Santorini, honeymoon photos, luxury resorts. But away from the famous islands, Greece has regions that are facing a much harder reality. In some areas, people are leaving. Young families move to bigger cities. Workers look for better opportunities elsewhere. Schools lose students. Local businesses lose customers. And communities that once felt full of life begin to feel empty. That is why Greece introduced relocation support for people willing to settle in selected parts of the Evros region. Eligible households may receive financial aid to help them relocate and establish their main residence there. But again, this is not Greece saying, "Come and enjoy a free holiday." This is Greece saying, "We need people who are willing to stay." Because a village does not survive on tourists alone, it survives on families, on children, on workers, on small businesses, on people who wake up there every morning and call it home. And the more you look at these programs, the clearer the pattern becomes. Countries are not just competing for visitors anymore, they are competing for residents. And that brings us to one of the most surprising examples in the world, Switzerland. At first, Switzerland almost feels like it should not be on this list. This is one of the richest countries on earth, one of the safest, one of the most beautiful, a place of clean streets, powerful passports, world-class trains, peaceful villages, and mountains that look like they were painted by hand. So why would anywhere in Switzerland need to pay people to move there? The answer is simple. Even paradise can become empty. The tiny Swiss village of Albanen became famous around the world after offering financial incentives to attract new residents. Imagine waking up every morning surrounded by the Alps, breathing clean mountain air, living in a peaceful village that looks like something from a postcard. And then hearing that the village may actually support people financially if they settle there. It sounds unbelievable, but the reason behind it is not luxury, it is population decline. Small villages need people, they need children in schools, they need customers in local shops, they need families who will not just visit for a weekend, but stay for years. And that is why the conditions are strict. This is not for someone who wants a temporary mountain escape. You have to meet specific requirements. You may need to commit long-term. You may need to buy or build a qualifying home. The village is not buying tourists. It is investing in its future. And from Switzerland, the story takes a completely different turn because our next country is not mainly trying to save villages. It is trying to attract ideas. So now we leave the quiet mountains of Europe and cross the ocean to South America, Chile. Chile looked at the world and realized something powerful. The next big company could be born anywhere, in a small apartment, on a laptop, inside the mind of one ambitious founder. Through Startup Chile, selected entrepreneurs can receive equity-free funding, mentorship, workspace, and support to build their businesses inside the country. That means Chile is not just asking people to move there. It is asking builders, dreamers, and founders to bring their ideas with them. And this is smart because one successful startup can create jobs, attract investment, train local talent, build new industries, and change the economy of an entire city. So while some countries are paying people to restore empty homes, Chile is investing in the kind of people who might build the future. But what if a country is not looking for entrepreneurs? What if it is looking for graduates? Young people who already studied there, already know the culture, and could help grow the local economy if only they stayed? For that story, we head north to Canada. Canada is already one of the most popular countries in the world for immigrants and international students. But even in Canada, not every province keeps the people it trains. Students arrive, they study, they graduate. Then many of them move to bigger cities or other provinces where they believe the opportunities are better. So Saskatchewan came up with a clever way to encourage graduates to stay. Through its graduate retention program, eligible graduates who live and file taxes in the province can receive a tax credit over time. For some graduates, the total value can reach thousands of dollars. It is not cash handed to you at the airport. It is a long-term reward for building your life there. And that tells you something important. Countries and regions do not only want people to arrive, they want people to remain. Because when graduates stay, they become workers, taxpayers, homeowners, business owners, parents, community members, and that is exactly what places like Saskatchewan are trying to build. But on the other side of the world, one country is offering support for a very specific type of person, someone every society needs, teachers. So from the wide landscapes of Canada, we travel across the Pacific to New Zealand. New Zealand is one of those countries that almost feels unreal. Mountains, lakes, green hills, clean air, quiet towns, a slower pace of life. It is the kind of place people imagine when they say, "I just want peace." But even a country this beautiful can struggle with shortages. And one of the most important shortages is teachers, because a country can have mountains, beaches, and beautiful cities. But if it does not have enough qualified teachers, its future suffers. That is why New Zealand offers relocation support for eligible overseas teachers who move to take approved teaching roles. The support can help cover the cost of moving, which can be one of the biggest barriers for people relocating from far away. But again, the purpose is very clear. New Zealand is not paying people just to come and enjoy the view. It is trying to bring in skilled professionals who can fill real needs. Because every classroom needs a teacher. Every child needs someone qualified in front of them. And sometimes, finding that person means looking beyond your own borders. But our final stop shows how relocation incentives are changing in a completely modern way. Because today, you do not always need to move for a job. Sometimes, your job can move with you. So from New Zealand, we cross into the United States. The United States does not have one national program paying everyone to move. But some American cities have started doing something very interesting. They are competing for remote workers. One of the most famous examples is Tulsa, Oklahoma. Through Tulsa Remote, selected remote workers can receive financial incentives to move there. And the reason is simple. A remote worker can bring income into a city without needing a local company to hire them first. They rent apartments, buy homes, eat at restaurants, join gyms, pay taxes, start friendships, build families, spend money in the local economy. So instead of waiting for big companies to move in, some cities are attracting the people directly. Topeka, in Kansas, has also offered relocation incentives for qualified people moving to the area. And this tells us something about the future. Cities are no longer only competing for factories or offices or tourists. They are competing for human beings, for talent, for energy, for people who can help a place grow. And when you look at all these countries together, the message becomes clear. This is not really a story about free money. It is a story about population, about survival, about economic growth, about empty homes, about classrooms without teachers, about villages without children, about cities trying to reinvent themselves. So yes, some places really may help pay people to move there, but the money is only the headline. The real story is why they need people in the first place. And that is the part most viral videos never explain. So here is my question for you. If you qualified for one of these programs, where would you move? Would you choose a quiet village in Europe, a mountain town in Switzerland, a startup opportunity in Chile, a teaching role in New Zealand, or a remote work life in the United States? Tell us in the comments. And if you want more stories about the countries, cities, economies, and opportunities shaping the world, subscribe. Because in the next video, we are exploring the best countries to relocate to in 2026, and the answer may surprise you.